Hey guys, welcome to Gospel Gossip. I'm Lizzie.
And I'm Christina.
How was your week, Christina?
It was good. We had prom Friday, and then we had the Easter celebration for our church on Saturday.
Yeah.
And
that
then,
was tough. The Easter celebration was tough.
That was real tough.
Yeah, we were there like all day. What did you do there?
I did the coffee shop. I made coffees.
Yeah, I was stuck outside doing balloon animals. That was it was fun, but it was kind of tough.
See, making the coffees was fun, but it did get a little tough here and there because people were like coming in and out.
Yeah. I saw that like a ton of people there, but
oh yeah, we had a line so long at the beginning, and then it kind of slowed down, and then it came right back, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, they had like a bouncy house, and I wanted to go on the bouncy house so bad, but
Dude,
I didn't get to.
You should have.
I didn't get to, but yeah, I think we have a pretty good episode planned for today, don't we?
Oh yeah, we do.
I think Christina kind of like came up with a little topic, and I'm so excited to hear what she's gonna talk about today, what we're gonna talk about. So I'm gonna just hand it over to you and let you just go with it.
All right, well, today we're going to be talking about peer pressure.
What is peer pressure?
It can be good or bad. Like, if it's bad, they can be forcing you to do something that they knowingly know it's harmful for you. Mm-hmm. And if it's good, they can be pushing you to do like the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminds me of that saying. It's like, if your friends told you to jump off of a bridge, or if your friends jumped off of a bridge, would you jump with them? That's what that reminds me of. I feel like that's a really good example.
I didn't even think about that.
No, my mom used to say that to me all the time.
Oh, my mom and dad say that to me all the time too.
Literally. Like, that's a really good example of like the bad kind. What would you say the good kind is?
I would say the good kind is if someone's pushing you towards what they know is right for you, mm-hmm. and like pushing you towards your relationship with God.
Right.
That would be a good.
Okay. I never hear people talking about good peer pressure.
No, you don't really hear much about good peer pressure. You normally hear a lot about bad peer pressure.
Right. I'm so excited to talk about this today. I'm just gonna let you go with it.
So peer pressure means you like conform to what others doing, like what others do. Mm-hmm. Like you said, if your friends like jumped off of a bridge, would you? Yeah, my parents used to say that to me all the time, and I'd be like, "Well, but they're doing this."
Mm-hmm. Like all my friends are doing this,
and they'd be like, "Well, if they're like jumping off of a bridge, would you?" And it's like, "Oh, like would I?"
I don't know. It's tricky to talk about because when you're in a peer pressure like situation, especially with like a group of friends, it's like they want you to do the same things that they're doing, especially if they're not Christian.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that all of your friends have to be Christian, but it is important to be friends with people that have similar beliefs to you. Like the Bible says to not be unequally yoked. And that doesn't just mean like our relationships. That means like all
like friendships.
Right. Right. And I feel like when you're in that kind of position, that's where you'll get like peer pressured in the bad way.
Yes. So you need to surround yourself with like a good group of friends that will, I don't want to say like peer pressure you into doing stuff you're not supposed to do, but like peer pressure you into doing stuff you're supposed to do.
Right. Like, I feel like a better way to say it is like encourage.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for.
Because like when you're talking about it in a bad context, you don't want to say, oh, they encourage me to do drugs, or they encourage me to sneak out, or whatever it is. You want to be able to say, oh, they encourage me to go to church with them, or something, you know?
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
And most of the time, people actually fall into peer pressure. Like, let's say if they're new to like a school or like a new job, then they're most likely to fall into peer pressure trying to make new friends.
Right. Get people to like them more.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I do this, they'll like me more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kind of just like take on other people's like characteristics, and that's really tough. That's why you need to surround yourself with the same type of people. I'm not saying like not to go out and like try to make new friends with different types of people, but your close friends need to be like kind of, I don't know, with the same beliefs. Yeah, do you agree with that?
Yeah, like the saying, you become who you hang out with.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
And I actually have a verse for peer, like that goes along with peer pressure.
Okay, misprepared.
And it's 1 Corinthians 15:33, and it says, "Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts a good character."
Right. Oh my goodness, that's so good.
It is
I
very
feel like
fitting.
I feel like we really need to hear that sometimes, because just because you'll meet a friend that you think on the outside is like a good person, or just because they go to church doesn't mean that they're like
Actually, a good
a
person.
good person to hang out with. That's happened. I've been in multiple situations like that, and I feel like a lot of people deal with situations like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have.
A couple of times, not often, not recently.
That's good. That's good. I feel like when you get closer to God, you get like discernment, and you get better at like reading people and just kind of picking up on somebody's like intentions or just their true self.
Yes.
And I feel like that's something that we all need to like work on.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely really helpful when trying to make friends.
Yeah, because you don't want to pick the bad friends. You want like good friends that push you to do what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But sometimes you just end up picking bad friends because of like what they like front you with.
Yeah. And with talking about that, we're not saying in the slightest not to be friendly to people, because it's very important to be friendly and to show yourself friendly. So like, but you have to be careful like who you're in relationships with or friendships or whatever with, you know?
Yeah, because like if you take a Christian and then a non-Christian and put them in a friendship, most of the time the Christian ends up falling into sin because it's the human nature to fall into sin.
Right. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of the times Christians have like the, oh, I can fix them mentality, but most of the time it's not the case, like you just said.
Yeah, like most of the time they actually end up changing instead of fixing them.
Right. Like in multiple like relationships, like friendships that I've had, I've gone in with that mentality, and I've come out like a completely different person in a bad way. You need to have friends that are going to push you closer to God
And not like
push
pull
you
you like further away.
Pull you further away, push you to do good things, and not peer pressure you into the bad things.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's really important. And if you're going to change your life, then you have to change your friends. And if you do change your life, you're going to lose some friends.
Because like if you want to move forward in life in like a good way, you need to move forward with good friends.
Right. And losing friends is something that people don't really talk about. They talk about like breakups and stuff with like actual relationships, and nobody talks about how painful it is
Like,
to go through a friend breakup.
It's like a friendship breakup.
It's so bad, especially if you're really close. It's happened to me multiple times.
Multiple.
And even though it might be for the best, it just like it's painful.
Yeah.
But it's for the best for you in the long run. And it might feel like you're just kind of leaving that person. That's how I felt in the past. Like I was just kind of leaving. But I know that it's what I need to do and what God is going to have me do. And that if I do lose friends, then I'm going to get friends in return, if that makes sense. I'm going to make new friends with my newfound like faith and relationship with God.
Yeah, and see, it's happened to me multiple times, and I feel like I'm just abandoning the friendship, basically.
Right.
And the amount of tears, dude.
No,
but
literally.
then I always end up getting new friends back, and they're normally like better friends, like friends I actually need to have a part of my life.
Right. Yeah. And another good thing to talk about is like in a marriage, for example, I've seen so many marriages that's been like the woman has been Christian and she's married a non-Christian man, and she's been like, oh, well, once we get married, I can change him and we can start going to church and living right and whatever.
And then that never normally happens. Normally,
happens. Yeah,
the lady falls out of church.
It rarely happens. I've heard like maybe 2 people talking about like it actually working out of the 100 that I've talked about. It
normally like the woman will go to church and then she falls right back out with her husband.
Exactly. Yeah, they're just gonna bring you down. And the thing is, like, you shouldn't want to marry somebody or be in a relationship with somebody I mean, if you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship to marry in the first place, right?
Yes.
That's
like,
how
I'm
I feel
not
about
dating just to date.
No, that's stupid. Like, you're just setting yourself up for a disaster. But that's a whole nother topic.
You're setting yourself up for a heartbreak.
Yeah, exactly. So if you automatically know that you're unequally yoked with them, you need to just...
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, you automatically just don't even want to, like...
Like, you don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah, entertain it. But the thing is, like, some people, like some women, Christian women, they'll get married to this guy and they'll keep going to church and they'll be like, somebody will say, "Where's your husband?" "Oh, he's at home." You know, that's so painful.
Yeah.
And you have to, either your kids stay at home with your husband or your kids go with you. And they're kind of conflicted. They're like, do I want to be like mom or like dad? Do I want to go with mom or dad? What am I going to do? You know? And I feel like that happens super often.
A lot.
Even if the wife isn't brought down, even if the woman isn't brought down, and it can be vice versa. We're just using this as an example. Even if she isn't brought down, it's still going to be that unequal relationship. And you're just never going to get over that. And if it doesn't work out, then it's just going to be a burden on you for the rest of your life, basically, or the rest of the time that you're with your partner. I mean... Is that how you feel about that too?
Yeah. Oh, I have an example of like a friendship like that.
Okay.
I actually had a friend who, when I first met her, she was like, she put on a front and let me believe that she was like this really big Christian and like all out for Jesus. But then as we got closer and we've like around, I would say about 2-3 months of us being friends, she kind of showed her true colors to me.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, you're not at all who I thought you were.
Yeah, I've had so many situations like that. And I hate to admit it, but I feel like people need to be able to hear this to relate to it. In some situations, I've been that friend. And I know that's terrible to talk about. Nobody wants to out themselves like that, but I feel like I should out myself.
That's what we're supposed to do.
Right. I should out myself for the sake of the podcast. And so I know that there's somebody that's going to listen that is going to relate to that. They're going to be like, "Oh, maybe I have been that friend." I've been that friend before. And I hate to admit that. And it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, and it comes with a lot of guilt, like once you do get right with the Lord.
And then you're like, oh, I did this, or I did this, and now this person's doing this because of what I did.
Because of me, yeah. And it's especially really bad when you've changed and the person that you changed is not changed.
Yes, like I have a friend like that like I changed them and then they're still stuck in that. And I'm like, I've done change.
So you can relate to what I'm saying too.
Yes, and it's like, it kills me because I want them to change, but they got to do it on their own.
Right. And it's way, way, way easier to get them to drag somebody down than it is to push them back up.
Yes, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, and, like you said earlier, it is, like, in our nature to sin because we're human. Like, we're not God, and we just have to try to be as much like God as we possibly can. But we are going to mess up, and dragging people down in the process of that is just... It's not fun to talk about, and it's not fun to think about.
And, like, you got to show them Jesus as much as you can, because sometimes you are actually the closest Bible that a person can get to.
Right. That's what I always say. I'm like, I'm trying to be nice, because maybe they're the only Jesus that they ever see, And it's like, there's been situations where people just want to automatically judge somebody, and I try to be like, hey, let's not do that, and... You just got to try to be nice anyway. It doesn't matter the type of person that they are, because if they're in that type of situation where a Christian would judge them, they are not close with God.
Yeah, like you shouldn't judge at like first sight.
Right.
Like at least try get to know the person.
Right. I say that they're not close with God. They might be close with God. You never know somebody's situation. And you never just want to judge right off the bat, because, there's been times where I've gone through stuff and people have probably made horrible assumptions about me. I know for a fact that that's happened, and I wouldn't want them to judge me. I try to put myself in the shoes of the person that I'm like,
Yeah, because you never know what they're going through.
right.
And like judging them could be doing so much more harm to them than it is doing good for them.
There's like constructive criticism, and then there's just criticism.
Yeah.
That doesn't help anybody.
That just tears them down.
Constructive criticism is always good. It might be hard. That's pretty much what we call tough love. Like, if you're close to somebody and you notice that they're like drifting away, you're gonna be like, "Hey, what you been
where
doing?
you going?
Where you going, girl? Where you going?"
Like, did I tell you can leave? No, come back.
Yeah. Like, I would hope that you would do that for me. If I was like drifting away, you'd be like, "Come here,
girl." I'll be like, "Hey, where are you going?
Where you going?" Yeah, and I would hope that I wouldn't, like, you wouldn't let me drag you down with me.
Oh, absolutely not. I'd be like, Lizzie, this isn't right.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I hope so. That's so good to know. Okay. But yeah, it's constructive criticism is good. And then there's just you being a bully. And I've been a bully. I've been the victim. I've been on like both sides of the spectrum. I don't know if you have.
I can say I've never been the bully, but I have been bullied. So I've been on that side of the spectrum, but not the other side.
Yeah, it's kind of nasty to admit all these things. I'm like outing myself in this episode.
You know, like get down and
but that was BC stuff. That was before Christ. We're not talking about that. We're not thinking about that.
That was the past.
It's over. If he forgot it, you should forget it too. But
even if we mentioned it,
you just don't even think about it. We're trying to give you something that you can relate to, hopefully. So I'm just trying to be like super real and vulnerable at times, but that's okay.
It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, you just need to be careful who you're friends with. And, you know, it might be somebody with a mask that's saying, "Oh, you know, we have the same beliefs. I'm a good person." But
and then in reality, it's like they take the mask off and they're a completely different person and they have nothing, like not the same beliefs or anything as you.
Right. And what they do is they trap you in that friendship or that relationship, and they get you to care about them first, and then they show you.
And then you feel bad if you like are like, "Oh, I gotta like leave this friendship." Then you feel horrible.
Right. And it's just so tough. So you need to be certain, and you need to be able to pray about your friends and be like, "Hey, is this who I need to be friends with? Are these the type of people that I need to hang out with?" And I feel like that's a question that most people don't ask. They just pretty much just are like, "Hey, I kind of like you. You're cool, whatever.
Like, let's be friends."
Right. Like, I'll just hang out with you. I don't know anything about you, but let's just be friends.
But you know what? Let's be friends.
Yeah, let's be buddies. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be friends with different types of people.
But you definitely got to be careful.
You don't need to be close buddies with people who are more than likely going to drag you down.
Like, my mom used to tell me all the time whenever I was little, it was always, if you didn't feel comfortable, you felt uneasy doing something, then you know it's wrong to do it.
Right. Most of the time, if you have to ask if something is okay,
then it's not okay.
Yeah, nobody talks about that. And that's something that needs to be talked about, like, a lot more than it is, because I know I've heard examples that other people have given. They're like, "Hey, is this okay?" And if you have to ask if it's okay, it's more than likely not okay. And some of the examples are kind of sticky sometimes, and it might, you know, in our little human brains, we might be like, "Oh, this is okay," and try to compromise, but compromise is...
Come up with, like, excuses in your brain, like, telling yourself, "Okay, yeah, well, it's okay."
Right.
Like, it's fine, and then it's not fine at all.
Yeah, like, we try to compromise, but would Jesus compromise?
No.
What would Jesus do? I know y'all are wearing those bracelets.
Like, I know.
Yeah, I know you're wearing that bracelet. Ask yourself, what would Jesus do? Do you think that that's okay? Do you think that it's okay if... Can you picture Jesus doing it? Like, can you picture Jesus sneaking out? I don't know, sneaking out, doing drugs, whatever.
Or, like, partying or something. Like, no, I don't think Jesus would do that.
And a lot of people are like, "Well, technically, no."
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Well, technically, I can do it now, and then I can just ask for forgiveness later."
No, girl.
And it's like, no, it doesn't work like that.
You can't do that. I mean...
Like, you can't abandon your relationship with God to go do something like that and then just be like, yeah, I'll just ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah. You can't. Are you going to sacrifice eternity for 30 minutes of a
Just, like,
fun time? Yeah.
No.
Like, my
Like,
eternity is
30
worth way
minutes,
more.
eternity, like, weigh your options out, dude.
It's kind of, one is a bit more heavier
Yes.
than the other. And we need to think about that because that's a mindset that so many people have. And that's a mindset that I've had before. And it's a nasty mindset. And you need to get out of that because Jesus literally died for your sins. And you're over here. We're over here. I mean, we're not perfect. Just because we're sitting here talking on a podcast. We are not
perfect at all.
Yeah, just because we're sitting here talking about this doesn't mean that we're never going to mess up or never going to have that mindset. Or we never have
messed up.
Right. But we just have to remember, like, Easter was recently, and we just need to remember, like, Jesus literally sacrificed everything for us, and we shouldn't turn around and be like, hey, he did this, like, I can just do this and ask for forgiveness later. No, that's not how it works. And I feel like you only get forgiveness if you're genuinely sorry, and he knows your heart. Like, he knows that you're just saying that because you're scared of, like, going to hell or whatever.
Or, like, he knows your heart and, like, the way of if you're doing something and it's just you're doing it because you feel bad or you feel like you're being left out.
Right.
Then he knows your heart.
This is such a, like, sticky thing to talk about. I feel like nobody wants to talk about this.
I feel like when we first brought it up, it's just like little crickets. Just,
yeah, it was definitely kind of crickets. And I don't really know where it came from, but I guess we need to talk about it then.
I guess so.
Yeah, because, like, we prayed before this and we were like, let us be able to talk about whatever you want us to talk about. And then here we are.
Here we are freely talking about it.
I guess we have a little, like, side subject today. But, yeah, he knows, like, if you do something, you mess up and you're genuinely sorry, he knows that you're sorry. And it doesn't have to be a super long prayer. You just be like, I'm sorry, like, please forgive me. And he will, and he forgets.
Yeah, like, he wants you to come to him with anything.
Right. And
even if you think it's, like, small.
Right. And I feel like most of the time when we do, like, sin, we don't want to come back. Like, we just distance ourselves and we're like,
like, I did this, now it's like, oh, well, I done this, so why would I just do this?
Right. Or, like, he's mad at me, you know? He's not mad at you.
No.
He's disappointed. He's worried about you. He wants you to come talk to him. And that's something that we really forget.
He doesn't want you to distance yourself away from him.
Right. That's what's going to drag you down more. You need to literally do everything that you can to get closer. For the longest time, there was a period of time that I just wouldn't even pick up my Bible or pray or anything. And it was because I felt like he was mad at me and he didn't want to talk to me. In reality, it's like the opposite. He's literally just waiting for you to talk to him. And I've realized that recently. And now I just, like, I probably be getting on his nerves, honestly.
Yeah, probably, like, now I'd be getting on his nerves. But me and Mom, like, about a year or so ago, we used to talk all the time. She'd be like, well, when did you, like, have you read your Bible? And I'd be like, no. Mm-hmm. And so then we got a conversation about it, and I wouldn't say it had been like 2 years outing myself on that one. And she was talking to me about it, and she's like, you just need to go back and start reading your Bible. You need to, like, talk to God. He wants to hear from you. And I was like, well, maybe.
Right.
And then that kind of set in my mind, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I do.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, maybe I do. And then I did.
Yeah, and now you feel better. Do you feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you were saying, like, I know it's crazy. It's been, like, 2 years. No. It's, like, I didn't pick up my Bible for, like, a year. And I was kind of living in a way that nobody knew that I was.
Like, nobody knew that I wasn't reading my Bible or anything?
Right. Like, I was putting on a good show. And
exactly.
That's kind of what I was talking about earlier. Like, I would put on a front. Like, we're talking about, people will put on a front. And I would get close to people and I would start dragging them down.
Yeah, like, I actually had a lady, like, after I started reading my Bible and everything and I got saved, I actually had a lady look at me and be like, oh, I would have never known.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. And I tried to talk, like, I've tried to talk to somebody about it before, and they're like, what do you mean, like, you're struggling?
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and if you don't talk about it, you're not going to get help. You need to talk about it. And this is kind of crazy, like, talking about this with, like, have you seen the Ice Bucket Challenge coming back?
Oh my God,
huge?
yes. I've been nominated and I refuse to
No.
do it.
Oh my goodness. I'm so scared somebody's going to nominate me to do it. But it's like, so if you don't know about the Ice Bucket Challenge, they were doing it. I don't remember the cause like last time, but it was years ago. I was a kid.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
But I think it was like for ALS.
Yeah,
but this time,
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, for this time, it's for like mental health awareness. You need to talk about it, whether it be your mental health or whether it be your relationship with God and you're struggling, whatever it is, you need to talk about it.
You need to get it off your chest because you can't sit there and just like be like meditated on it and think about it all the time.
Right. And you need to try to find somebody that you can talk to and you feel like you can trust. And sometimes that's really hard. That's why you need to be able to form these friendships and like relationships where you can go and say, hey, I've been slacking lately, and they can try to like push you back up, you know?
And you can't pull yourself back up. Like, I mean, you could try, but it's always better to have somebody else to
It's
help
hard
you.
to do it by yourself.
It's so hard.
It really is. And, you know, we're so good at faking that nobody will know.
Like nobody will.
I went for so long where nobody knew, and I was just putting on a front for everybody. And if I told somebody that, they would probably be shocked. Like, that I knew during that time period, they'd probably be like, what? Or they're just like the type of person that I just brought down with me, you know? The type of person that I was friends with in that time, I brought down with me, and the type that I was just kind of like distant from, they would be shocked because the people that I was friends with, they knew what was going on. And I guess they didn't really know like what to do to help, or I just wouldn't let them help, you know?
Yeah, like I learned that whenever I was like that, I would distance my friends away, that I was like, oh, I cannot push them down with me. Like, I can't pull them down with me. And then I have friends, I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep hanging out with you, and I can hope that I don't pull you down with me. Yeah. But then I always end up pulling them down with me.
Yeah, and during that time, I feel like you have like your Christian friends, and then you have like your lukewarm friends or just completely non-Christian friends. And that's the type of people that you get closer to. And that's not the type of people that you need to be closer to in those times. You need to be closer.
Especially not in that.
Right. You need to be closer to the people who are closer to God to boost you up.
You need to be boosted up towards God, not pulled further away.
Yeah. And in that time where I felt like I couldn't get help, it was because I wasn't wanting help. Like, I just kind of was wallowing in it, and it would just get bigger and bigger, and I would just kind of like push it away.
I didn't want help, and I didn't think I needed help.
Right. At that time, I didn't want to be in a relationship with God.
It was just like a mindset. Like, I don't want this. Like,
So what's the point of trying to do better, you know? That was my mindset, but yeah. I think that's good for today.
Yeah, I think that's good for today.
I don't know how long we've been going, but I feel like we're really yapping today.
We really have been yapping.
Yeah, so I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. I hope we really enjoyed talking about it.
We really enjoyed it. I'm a yapper, so.
Me too. No, Christina gets kind of shy on the podcast, but like in reality, she will not stop talking.
I never stop talking.
She never stops talking, which is okay. I don't either, so it's fine. But yeah, thank y'all so much for listening. I hope you'll join us for the next one. I don't know what we're going to talk about. But
I don't know yet.
We'll come up with something really juicy for y'all on the next one.
Again.
Okay? Again. Yeah, because they're all going to be juicy. But yeah, if you're going to gossip, just remember, make sure you're gossiping about Jesus. See y'all next time. Bye.